But for the rest of you who actually want a relationship, but then you also are saying, I can do all this without no man, you're being inconsistent. That's inconsistent with yourself, meaning you're lying to yourself. Okay? So there's a space that you can be in where you are very well providing for yourself, but also able to acknowledge that, hey, I still want that companionship. Which brings me to my second point. It's okay to want companionship. There seems to be this like wave of people who are coming out and downing marriage, who are saying basically, oh, if you're a feminist or if you support women or whatever, it's almost like a weakness to say you want love and you want companionship and you want a man in your life. There's nothing weak about that. That is the last thing that indicates weakness in a person's life, and that is companionship. Because baby, it is not for the weak. It is not for the weak. You hear me? It is not. So to associate or to keep putting out there, y'all women need to stop focusing on marriage. Y'all women need to quit caring about it. Y'all women need to da-da-da. How about y'all women or y'all people who are encouraging women to do that? Let them live their life. Let them live their life. Let them invest in themselves, learning how to do it in a way that's going to yield results. And see, and y'all who really truly want it need to be mindful of who you're listening to. Who I mentioned this in the last video. Who has your ear? Who has your ear? Who has your attention? Who's speaking to you about your journey, your love journey? Who's telling you, girl, don't worry about them so-and-sos. You know what I was going to say. Don't worry about them so-and-sos. You go ahead and take care of you. Take care of your kids. Don't depend on no man. Don't learn how not to lean on no man. It's so exhausting. Because these people, marriage is a spiritual act. Okay, it's a spiritual act. People try to make it, be a business transaction or something like that. There are people who treat it that way, and that's the kind of marriage they have, a transactional one, where you give me this, I give you that. You give me this, I give you that. Whereas marriage is actually a spiritual covenant that's based on mutual trust, honor, and respect, not based on a contract where it's mutual distrust and this piece of paper is what's keeping us together. That's two different types of coming togethers, okay? And so don't be surprised when a spiritual act such as marriage or prayer or whatever is attacked by outside people who are either carnal minded, meaning they don't have a awareness of spirituality, or they are pure evil and are intentionally causing a rift in that space in your life. So my encouragement to you is to be mindful of who you're even listening to while you're on your love journey. Again, why you need a Naomi who is committed to this part of your life. So don't let these people shame you into thinking that you're less of a woman, less independent, less with the times, less cool, because you want your man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong, therefore, with you putting forth the effort to prepare for that. Now, another thing that happens in this chapter is the meet cute between Ruth and Boaz. So she, like I said, she worked many fields, she worked fields. We don't know if there were many or how it came about, but I'm assuming she must have worked many fields, and then she ended up in Boaz's field, where she was able to glean peaceably. And when I say glean, back in those days, they used to leave extra grain intentionally, like when they were harvesting. They used to leave extra so that the poor and everybody could come out and have some, for free. They just come and get it. So she would go and glean that and go behind them. So that's what she was doing. So she was able to glean in his field for free. Or peaceably, should I say. And Boaz came in hot. And I say that meaning when the first mention of him is he came in from wherever he was, came and greeted his workers. Now, is that not saying something about his character? Is that not saying something about the type of person he is? He came in and greeted his workers and said, the Lord be with you. And they said back to him, I think they said, God bless you too, or something like that, whatever the case may be. So he liked them and respected them and honored the work that they were doing for him. And then they liked him back. They liked him back, it appears, you know. He also took notice of Ruth, and he was impressed by her. Once they told him who she was, that she was the young lady that came back with Naomi back to their hometown, after having lived in Moab, he was impressed by her. He was impressed by the fact that she had taken care of her mother-in-law. So he wasn't trying to holler at her. He wasn't trying to get no draws. Man, this is a notion for you. He was impressed by her character. He was impressed by how she took care of her mother-in-law, even though she had the right to go back home and leave her high and dry. He was impressed by her, and that is what drove him, inspired him to provide for her. Just he was impressed by how she had served, the time she had done with Naomi. Okay? So it's so ironic to me that Naomi is sitting there feeling all grieved. Like when they came back to town and the town women was like, oh yeah, Naomi's back. She's like, no, don't celebrate me. Oh, God has not shown me favor. He's looked down on me. And, you know, and again, grief got her emotions all over the place, you know. So she's focused on that. Meanwhile, she feel like she ain't got no favor, and she is the very favor in Ruth's life with Boaz. Because of her, he's looking at her and giving her favor and just pouring blessings on her. Because not only did she get to glean from the scraps that were left, he told his people, one, don't give her no hard time. Don't be hassling and troubling her. And then told them, leave extra, intentionally leave extra out there on the field for her. Is that not favor? She getting the same, if not more, than the others, you know? And she ain't even working as hard for it because they're doing the hard part and leaving it for her. So I just find that to be so ironic that one, Naomi doesn't even feel like she's a blessing to nobody or nothing. She's like, oh, woe is me. But then Ruth's very interaction with her is the blessing. She is the favor in her life with Boaz. Okay? All because he was impressed by the work she'd been doing with Naomi. Get that in your mind. Get that clear in your mind. Your Naomi has blessings attached to her that will trickle down into your life. Okay? Just saying.